Welcome to The Shoreline, brought to you by Shores and Islands, Ohio, where finding your Lake Erie love is a sure thing. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Jill Bauer, PR Manager for Shores and Islands, Ohio. We bring you The Shoreline every week to give you the inside scoop on what's happening here in our island and coastal communities. Well, we are now in the month of September, but summer weather is holding out and the season is still going strong. Remember, folks, that Shores and Islands, Ohio, while of course super popular as a summer vacation destination, is a year-round destination, and this is the perfect time to come visit us. So much happens in September. You may have heard some of our recent episodes, the Put-in-Bay Sports Car Races episode and the Lake Erie Arms Freedom Fest episode. Those are both coming up in the month of September. And today we've got another awesome event that we're excited to tell you all about. But our first guest joining me today is Shores and Islands' own sports tourism coordinator, John Limber. You may remember John from the Ironman 70.3 Ohio update episode we did maybe a month or two back. John has been with our team for close to 6 months now and, of course, has hit the ground running. Welcome back to the Shoreline, John.
Thank you so much, Jill. I appreciate being able to come back and talk to you again.
Well, we've got some fun stuff to talk about. Let's talk about the Ironman event. Last time you were on, we were getting ready for Ironman. Now, this was your first time, kind of in official capacity for the event, but I know you've been around the event previously. I think you volunteered in the past. Well, how did you think that it went?
It was incredible. Number one, we had amazing weather, which, of course, is always a big help for things like this. It wasn't too awful hot. It wasn't too awful windy. A lot of folks telling us that it was just right. So if we can just repeat that every
year,
that would be great. But the vibe downtown was incredible. You know, I strapped on my rollerblades at 4 o'clock in the morning and came downtown from my house because I was not going to fight anybody for a parking place.
Right. And, good thing you're close enough.
Yeah, and I didn't fall. So thank you to everyone for cheering me on as I was coming down the road for that. But it was so great to be able to witness the beginning of the race. You know, everybody jumping off of the Kelly's Island ferry right into the Sandusky Bay. It was so awesome because that's the first time I've ever gotten to see that.
Yeah. Normally you're not there at 6 a.m.?
Oh, heck no. I'm snoozing. But this time around, I got to experience that, which was so much fun. The opportunity to watch them all jump in the water, getting prepped, getting stretched out, and just getting ready to take on that 70.3 mile challenge that they were about to embark on.
Well, you know, what's also really cool, John, is I saw you got to hold the ribbon at the finish line for the first finisher of the race as well, for the men's winner.
Yes. So in years past, I volunteered at the finish line and got to watch those first finishers come in. But that was the first time where I got to hold the finish line ribbon and, have that first athlete in just under 4 hours, cross that finish line, be able to hold it in their hands and hold it up high. So that was an incredible feeling. And he just looked like he was ready to go more, which was something I was not ready to anticipate coming out of somebody.
That is impressive. And so this time you got to see the whole thing from start to finish and be a big part of it. And, not just the athletes, there were so many people in town. Like you mentioned just the downtown vibe being kind of electric. Like, what was that like with all the people visiting?
So getting to talk to family and friends that were there supporting their loved ones that were competing, it was a matter of this community is so wonderful. There's everything that's so close. All of the local businesses that were a part of everything, doing breakfast specials at 4:30 in the morning, doing drink specials throughout the afternoon, really all coming together to give all of these folks an experience that they don't get in many other places. A lot of them tell us, the business owners and the people that work at all these places are so friendly and, we're walking down the street and we look like we don't know where we're going and what we're looking for. And somebody said, I live here. How can I help you?
I think that's called Midwest hospitality.
I think you're absolutely right. And that's what's so awesome about our region is we all know how difficult it was. Like myself, I wasn't born and raised here. So when I first moved here, was really difficult to find what I was looking for all the time. And I had those same experiences with complete strangers. So it's always good to be able to kind of pay that forward and give it back to folks when they come to visit for Ironman or anything else in between.
Well, yeah, so that was such a special event. It was at the end of July. And just recently, speaking of downtown Sandusky and people coming from all over and electric atmosphere and amazing vibe, this isn't necessarily sports related, so I know you weren't working in an official capacity, but I did see you out at Tommy Boy Fest, right?
Yeah.
So our listeners might recall last month we had an episode with Hollywood director Pete Siegel, who among other films was the director of Tommy Boy, the 1995 Chris Farley and David Spade classic, which is set in Sandusky. And we had such a fun festival a few weeks back to celebrate the movie's 30th anniversary. Like I said, thousands of people from all over the country came to Sandusky to pay homage to the film and to enjoy the Shores and Islands region. So, John, tell us what brought you down to Tommy Boy Fest?
So the very first thing I saw was the announcement of the Tommy Boy Lookalike Contest. That is what brought me there. It is what kept me there. And being able to walk around a crowd of thousands of people and just hearing people just kind of spurting out quotes from the movie. And I felt at home because I effectively communicate via movie quotes and song lyrics. And so I felt like I was on the right planet here. And I'm 39 years old, and to say that I started watching Tommy Boy at the age of 9,
it's not surprising.
It's not an understatement. It is legitimate. I had 2 older brothers that were old enough to watch it, and I watched it probably just slightly too young of an age.
Well, I think that's actually that came up quite a bit over the weekend because a lot of people were there with their children, and it came up that it's kind of a multi-generational movie. Like, you remember it, maybe you were a little too young to watch it, but it stuck with you, and it's beloved by generations, and now people get to share it with their own families.
Yes. And I got the opportunity to even participate in that Tommy Boy Lookalike Contest. And the number of children
that were in the contest
that I'm quite sure their parents were like, "You're going to do this and make me proud. So go." But they nailed the costumes. They nailed the quotes. And that was the best part, was just being able to have people, explore their fandom for Tommy Boy in a lot of different ways.
Which was so cool. So, yeah, if you missed that, guys, you can go back to Shores and Islands social media accounts. Just scroll back a couple of weeks. It was the beginning of August when we had Tommy Boy Fest. And you might even spot a picture of John dressed up as the Chris Farley character in Tommy Boy at the Lookalike Contest. Well, so actually, our main guest today was also made an appearance at Tommy Boy Fest. I hope that he recused himself from judging you since he knows you so well now, but but he was a celebrity judge in that lookalike contest, and he even did a little shtick as the quote fat guy in a little coat. You'll find out why later. To promote this awesome event that we're going to be talking about here shortly. Today, we're talking about something brand new and pretty incredible coming to Northwest Ohio. It's the Strongman Champions League, making its U.S. debut right here in Toledo and Sandusky this September. This is the league that brings together the strongest athletes in the world, and we're lucky enough to be one of the very first U.S. stops. Joining John and I now is Ilya Khazov, one of the organizers behind the event, and he's going to give us the inside scoop on what fans can expect. Ilya Khazov is the strongest man of Cyprus, a professional strongman who competes all around the globe, most notably with the Strongman Champions League, the world's only professional strongman league. He has organized SCL stages around the world and is looking forward to bringing SCL to the USA for the very first time in its nearly 2 decades of existence as director of the upcoming tournament here in Sandusky. Welcome to the Shoreline, Ilya.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Well, we are so happy to have you. And my very first question, right? Strongman Champions League has never done any kind of exhibition or performance, anything here in the U.S. So why now, and why Northwest Ohio?
That's right. We've actually covered almost 100 different countries all over the world. We've been almost everywhere, or at least in every part of the world, except the US until now. And I think it was about time, especially with I spend my off season here in the US, training. On season, I'm competing all over the world. In the off season, my wife lives here in Columbus, Ohio. So we spend the off season getting ready for her competitions. I spend a few months at a time every year here, and I've started to love Ohio a lot. And when I got the opportunity to meet the people in Sandusky and the whole Northwest Ohio region, I absolutely fell in love with it. And being able to bring the competition here it's magical to me.
Awesome.
So, Ilya, now I know a lot of this because you and I have been working closely over the last several months. But for anybody that is new to Strongman or thinks that they know what they've seen on television in the States about Strongman, so what makes these competitions, specifically your competitions, so exciting to watch?
Well, most importantly, we like to keep it not just a athletic competition. This is a show, most importantly, for the audience. We're keeping it in the roots of what Strongman used to be. So almost all our events are exciting, unusual, unique. They tend to be records or challenges or things that have never been done before, and then are picked up as the mainstream event. So being able to put on a fantastic and memorable show and entertain the crowd, and especially the kids. So many competitions around the world that I've been to, and this has always stuck to me. The kids in the crowd, and having them come up to me and get an autograph or want to pose for a picture with their biceps, and they get so excited. You see the wonder in their eyes, especially when you then go out and pull a truck or lift this massive boulder that's bigger than the kid. Oh, that fascination they have on their faces, and then knowing how I was when I was a kid and I saw this on TV, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. People can actually do this, not realizing that I'll be doing this down the line. So if I can impart some of this onto these families and kids and have that same fascination in them, that is amazing. That's the dream.
I think it almost makes you like a superhero to them. That's probably the appeal to children, because they've never seen a normal human be able to do these things, right? You're almost superhuman. Well, the event that's coming is a weekend event, and it kicks off in Toledo on Friday night. What can fans who go to the preview event in Toledo expect to see there?
So in Toledo is going to be, we're still working on the exact details, but there's going to be at least one very exciting event. There's going to be some entertainment where we're bringing in our resident American strength performer, John Mauser, and his lovely wife, Hannah, who put on a fantastic show, bending horseshoes, slamming nails through boards with her bare hands. Hannah has a record in bending hammers, and so some of the people in Sandusky got to see this during the Touch Your Truck event, and they were absolutely amazed seeing these cool feats and tricks. So I'm really glad that I can bring them for this kind of entertainment. So the Friday event is going to be a smaller format kickoff event where you can expect food, drinks, some entertainment. This is all still recorded for TV, as we always do. And then the Saturday event is going to be the main stage kickoff.
And to jump back very briefly at the Touch a Truck event, I would just like to point out to you, Jill, that I am a strongman in training because I, amongst all of the folks that were watching, bent a nail with my bare hands.
That is impressive.
We are very proud of him. We are very proud of him. I was proud to introduce him as a strongman trainee.
What's your next event, John? What are you training for next?
So I think next what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best to try and bench press Ilya. That's going to be my next feat strength here.
Oh boy, is this my off-season or on-season weight?
I'll let you decide that one. How about that?
All right, we'll work up to it.
So in talking about that potential event happening, the Saturday portion of the Strongman Champions League United States debut happening in downtown Sandusky on Shoreline Drive. That's obviously a very big competition day. For what we are allowed to talk about right now, what are some of the must-see events that are going to be on the schedule? What do you have on the docket for our community and friends to come out and come watch?
So on the docket there are 4 confirmed events so far that I can announce. I like to keep some mystery and some surprise, even for the audience and both for our athletes too. And even right now, the athletes don't know what they're getting into. So for some of them, this might be a surprise and a shock hearing this.
Oh, I like that. Wait a minute. What did I sign up for?
Yeah. Our guys love that. It's one of those things that I mentioned that it goes to the true root of strongman, that you're supposed to just be strong and show up, and you can do anything and everything. You're not preparing a whole year for one competition. We have 16 competitions happening year round, so you just have to be ready.
So a strongman athlete doesn't necessarily specialize in one event. They're prepared to take on the whole gamut of events.
That's right. So for some athletes, they might have a favorite event or an event that they excel at. There are some events that they're not good at whatsoever. But in general, they try to be as good and proficient at as many of them as they can.
Very cool.
Yeah. So for the events, we're going to start off the day with a really cool and unique variation of a keg toss, which is going to be happening right into the bay, into the water, with our lovely sponsor, Clag Brewing. So there's some more surprises coming out there. Do we want to announce it now or later, John?
I think we got to keep that one close to the vest.
Okay, we'll keep that one close.
Ooh, I like surprises.
So, yeah, the people can expect some nice surprises, both from the strongman side and the audience. The second event is going to be a really big one that will introduce the ferry pull. It is the biggest ferry anyone's ever pulled arm over arm. It is already a world record. It is something that's never been done, and it's especially never been done with people on board. So this is going to be a very exciting moment. We'll be offering the opportunity for some VIP tickets to be sold to have entrance on the boat. So you can have your drinks, you can have a fantastic observation viewing platform, and you can actually be part of the event.
And I saw the preview of this when you were in town last month practicing with the Good Time Lake Erie Island cruise boat here out of Sandusky, like literally pulling it with a rope.
Yep.
One human being.
That's right, one human being. And you're going to see 14 other athletes compete for who can be the fastest to pull it in.
Oh my gosh, how cool.
Yep. Then the third event is going to be a unique take on the kind of vehicle that we use for a truck pull. We're working closely with Friendship Kitchen stores that have been an absolutely fantastic and generous sponsor for this event and a great supporter of ours. And they have generously provided one of their vehicles. And I'm really excited for this, especially the way it's going to look in the crowd. I'm pretty sure this is the first time anyone's pulled this type of vehicle.
Oh, cool.
So we're having a lot of unique firsts happening in this competition. And then the fourth event is going to be a variation of a deadlift. Once again, working with another sponsor, Toughman Equipment Rentals, up in Sandusky. They've been absolutely fantastic with helping out with everything, providing some of the equipment. And this event's going to include one of their heavy machines that is well over 7,000 pounds in weight.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's going to be as a deadlift event.
Well, how cool is that?
If I knew that you needed some weight like that, we could have just had me go to a buffet, and then you guys could have just deadlifted me. I didn't know that was on the chopping block here.
These are only the confirmed events yet, John. There's still possibility. You could be one of the surprises.
Yep, there's always space for the fifth surprise event.
So, Ilya, how many athletes are expected to be competing in the competition here in Sandusky?
There are going to be 14 professional athletes. 5 of them are U.S. Representative athletes that will be fighting for the title of winning this stage and being invited onto other stages and potentially even making it to our finals at the end of the year. And then all the other athletes are from all over the world, starting from as far south as South Africa and then all the way to England and Poland and Hungary. So we're getting a really wide spread of athletes from all over the world.
Yeah, so a lot of international athletes coming in. Are there any that are confirmed that you maybe we should keep an eye on because they're going to do some special things, or anybody in particular that we should kind of watch out for in the competition?
There are definitely two or three really good contenders. There are also a couple that I will not announce yet. We'll have a big post announcing them.
Ooh.
But the 3 athletes that we can talk about is, for example, Adam Roszkowski from Poland. He's a World's Strongest Man competitor, a fantastic guy, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. And then we also have Evans Nana from Ghana. He's the strongest man of Ghana. He is a fantastic athlete. He's a fan favorite. Everyone loves him at every single competition. And it'll be really interesting to see how he does, especially after the far travel getting here.
Yeah, so hopefully he's coming in early enough to, get some downtime before the actual competition.
Absolutely. Most of our guys are coming in early in the week, and there's going to be an opportunity to even have a little meet and greet with them.
Oh, how cool. Well, speaking of things like that, beyond the competition itself, what other fan experiences are you hoping to create with this event, and what kind of things are families going to be able to do if they come down?
We will have a lot of different activities for the families and especially for the kids. We want to make this a family-friendly event and celebration. So besides all the attractions for families, such as food and drinks and the shows and entertainment from both the athletes and our strength feat performers, there are going to be some surprise appearances also as far as entertainment. And then for the kids, there will be some strength sport athletic challenges involved. There are some challenges or events that we haven't announced yet, but the Greater Sandusky Partnership will be announcing it through their calendar and their social media. Then we have a very unique event competition that people can sign up for on the day. We get a lot of excitement from this, a lot of weird looks. They don't know how to react exactly to this, especially when I tell them it's a scorpion eating contest.
What?
You heard every word correctly, Jill.
Do tell me more.
So there will be a scorpion eating contest. And for anyone not brave enough to eat a scorpion, which is fine. I don't know if I will try, but I'm very keen to give it a shot. At least put it in my hand and see if I will do it. There will be crickets also that you can, test the waters with, get as a little appetizer before you warm up to the actual scorpion. But for anyone on the day, there will be an opportunity to enter onto our leaderboard. And the top few names of the leaderboard actually go on to being invited onto the main stage in between one of our events towards the end of the day, where they actually go head to head on seeing who can eat the scorpions the fastest.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. It sounds really, really cool. So either that, John, or, he mentioned the competitions for the kids. That's where you can, maybe you can shine there, John.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only showing the strength in your muscles, but it's also showing the strength and restraint that you have to be able to keep your lunch down as you put a scorpion on top of it. And one of the big things that Ilya touched on too was that a part of one of our many partnerships that we've been working together on the last several months. There's been a lot of collaborative effort between our friends at the city of Sandusky, in the Parks and Rec department, and all of those folks over there in collaborating with the Greater Sandusky Partnership to be able to host a free community event to be able to bring the local community, but then also being able to help spread the word to bring people from outside our region to come watch this competition. The Greater Sandusky Partnership is also planning an event where we are looking at youth strength competition in a way where everyone may potentially be able to participate, but then also some youth weightlifters being able to host their own competition to then potentially be introduced to the strongmen to see where their aspirations can take them to if they continue weightlifting as an opportunity.
I'm sure those athletes will be inspired.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, okay, I can pick up, let's just say, for example, 100 pounds, and then I can later in life pull the good time boat that these guys just did a little bit ago. It's a big leap in the mind, but it's also a leap that you could decide to try to take. I mean, for example, Ilya, I don't think when you were 12, you thought, I'm going to pull a boat.
No, it was a small car. No, when I was 12, I was doing martial arts and tennis, but that certainly set me on the path towards this.
So, Ilya, in the last several months that you and I have become fast friends, and with all of the partnerships that we've created between Shores and Islands, Ohio, the Greater Sandusky Partnership, and the City of Sandusky, adding one additional to that, which are the folks over at Destination Toledo that actually made our introduction. With all of those partners, bundled together there, how important have all of these entities been in being able to make this event happen?
Oh, extremely important, especially the connections that Destination Toledo and the Shores and Islands and Greater Sandusky Partnership have been able to provide and establish, and even just the assistance in being able to set up these events has been priceless. I wish that we could have someone like you guys at every single one of these 16 stages every year that we organize.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And Ilya says that from time to time when we're meeting with folks, and then I always have to look at him and blush and be like, stop, say more.
I truly mean it. We've been doing this for nearly 2 decades now. I've been part of it for the last few years, and having to organize 16 competitions every single year around the world, and some of them are the same locations, some of them are new locations that we rotate through. There is an insane amount of logistics and coordination and effort that goes into planning all of these moving parts, whether it's the athletes or the local sponsor or vendors or even getting permits for the city, which my whole process with this has been made incredibly easy and straightforward with you guys, where it's not even a headache. It's not even an issue in any shape or form. It's just a thing that got ticked pretty much because you guys helped make it happen. So having that experience with so many different locations, I can definitely say this has been an absolute wonder to work with you guys.
Well, I want to interject, John. I know you have the next question, but I'm just curious why there hasn't, and I don't know, you may not know the answer, but why has there not been a competition in the U.S. before?
Part of it would probably come down to the logistics involved. We founded and started the company in Europe. It is generally easier for all of our management and crew to travel, because especially if we give a little more feedback, a background, let's say, on what we do have a full production crew that travels with us, our full camera crew, photographers,
Gotcha.
Volunteers, referees, everyone that's involved with this. It is a full production crew that has to travel from location to location. And even in this past month of August, we had 3 different locations back to back going what is it? It was UK, then it was directly the next week into Poland, and then the next week into Hungary. This is an incredible amount of work that needs to happen. So then traveling halfway across the world to be able to put on something that we would be proud of as a production value. We don't want to disappoint the crowd, the audience, our viewers. So we always make sure that we can put on a good show. So it was a risk to be able to do this here in the US without having an established connection or record here, but with the help of all these amazing organizations like Shores on Islands and Creative Sandusky Partnership and Destination Toledo, it has been made possible and significantly easier than I even anticipated.
That's awesome.
So Ilya, looking ahead in what your goals are, do you see the Strongman Champions League becoming an entity in the States as the years progress after this inaugural event?
Absolutely, especially with this Midwest hospitality that you guys have shown us. Aww. I most definitely see this happening here as an annual event going forward.
That is so wonderful to hear. And is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you want the listeners to know about the event? Because I know you've mentioned a couple times about the whole crew. Can you talk, Ilya, a little bit about where people can catch the Strongman Champions League? Where can they view previous competitions or live competitions?
That's right. We're working on expanding our distribution here in the US. However, most of our seasons can be found on various streaming platforms such as Samsung and LG TV, Plex TV, Roku. A big notable one is actually Amazon Prime Video, where we have our 2022 season up, and we're working on getting our newer seasons up there. And right now we're also working closely with Buckeye Cable and their BCSN Sports Network that will be live streaming the whole competition. So anyone that cannot make it to the event will be able to watch it from the comfort of their homes or mobile phones and join in on all the action happening on the day.
Very, very cool. John, do you have anything else to add about the bringing of the event to the region?
Absolutely not. I have had the pleasure of really talking to Ilya almost every single day for about the last 3 months to ensure that he has everything that he needs to be able to bring this historic competition to our region. And I'm also honored to say to the fact that I get to say we're as close of friends as we are because he met my wife and my dog.
Yes. And the dog is the cutest dog.
And this is the part on the video where I'm going to give Jill all of the pictures of my dog that I own.
Yeah, that is more important than any of my lifting pictures.
I can probably lift the dog. So,
of course.
So, guys, it sounds like it's going to be an incredible weekend of strength, energy, and community right here on Lake Erie. The Strongman Champions League's USA event kicks off Friday, September 19th in downtown Toledo, with the main event happening on Saturday, September 20th here in downtown Sandusky. And the best part, entry is free. This is a free event, folks. Everybody needs to get down here and enjoy all of these, incredible feats of strength and seeing these, world-renowned international athletes coming here to Sandusky to compete. But as Ilya mentioned, if you can't make it in person, the event will also be streamed live, so fans all around the world can tune in. Ilya, where can our listeners go to learn more about the Strongman Champions League or to find the schedule for the upcoming event?
You can visit us on our website, strongmancl.com, or Google Strongman Champions League, or you can check us out on our Instagram, both Strongman Champions League or scl.usa. We'll be updating both with all the schedules, information, events, and any other information that anyone might have questions for.
Very cool. Thank you. Big thanks to Ilya Khazov for joining us today. And if you'd like more information, you can also follow the details that Shores on Islands, Ohio will be sharing across our social media platforms as these fun surprises come out. We'll hopefully be sharing them as well. And thanks, John, for joining me on the shoreline again today. We'll see you at the Strongman Champions League USA. As always, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a minute of the action here in Shores and Islands, Ohio. You can also find more information, including past episodes of the podcast, online at shoresandislands.com. And we'll see you next time on The Shoreline.